So, what if I told you that most of what you believe about happiness, trauma, and even your own emotions is kind of wrong? Today, we're diving into The Courage to be Disliked, a book that's packed with some really radical, life changing ideas from a 19th century psychologist. And trust me, it's going to challenge pretty much everything you think you know about finding fulfillment. Let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of this whole philosophy. I want you to think about your own life for a sec. What if your unhappiness isn't something that just happens to you? What if it's something you are actively, right now, choosing? I know, it's a really tough idea to swallow, but it is the foundation for everything we're about to explore. So, who's the mind behind these wild concepts? His name is Alfred Adler. He was working around the same time as Freud and Jung, but you know what? His ideas went in a totally different direction. Adler's psychology is all about looking forward, and it offers this incredibly liberating way to look at life, basically arguing that we have way more control than we give ourselves credit for. All right, let's get into the first big, and I mean really controversial idea. Adlerian psychology basically says that our past, it doesn't determine our present. This is a direct shot at the very common belief that our past trauma defines who we are today. So on one hand, you have the common view, which is called etiology. That's just a fancy word for cause and effect. It's the idea that I am this way because of what happened to me. But Adler's view, teleology, flips that completely on its head. It's all about purpose. It suggests that we aren't defined by past causes at all. Instead, we actively grab our past experiences and use them to justify the goals we have right now. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's not the event itself, but the meaning we decide to give it that actually shapes us. See what that does? It shifts all the power away from the past event and puts it right back in your hands, in this very moment. You are the one who gets to decide what it all means. Okay, so this idea of personal power leads us to another really radical concept, and this one is all about our emotions. We usually think of them as these automatic, involuntary reactions to the world, right? But Adler asks, what if they're not? So Adler's psychology suggests that we actually manufacture our emotions to help us achieve a goal. Just think about it for a minute. Have you ever gotten really angry to make someone back down and agree with you? In that moment, the anger wasn't just some passive reaction. It was a tool you picked up, maybe without even realizing it, to win the argument. And this makes a ton of sense when you look at modern research. It suggests that a lot of our complex emotions, like anger, sadness, even loyalty, aren't things we're born with. They're actually concepts we learn from our culture and society. And here's the really powerful part. If we can learn them, that means we can also unlearn them, or at least reframe them. Suddenly, our emotional state is firmly back in our own hands. So let's put this all together. If the past doesn't define us, and our emotions are basically just tools we choose to use, well, this leads us to the most shocking conclusion in the entire book, that unhappiness itself is a choice. Now, why on earth would anyone choose to be unhappy? Well, the book argues that on some subconscious level, we do it because we think there's a benefit. Maybe being unhappy is a great excuse not to try something new, or maybe it gets us special treatment and attention. For some reason, we've judged that being unhappy is, in some weird way, good for us. This is a tough question for sure, but it's a really powerful one to ask yourself. So just take a moment and really think about it. What purpose could your own unhappiness be serving? What good is it bringing you that you might, secretly, be afraid to let go of? Okay, so if the source of our unhappiness is an inside job, then where do all our day-to-day problems come from? Adler's answer is simple. They're all about our relationships with other people. And he offers this beautifully simple tool for solving them. It's called the separation of tasks. And the whole idea is that all of our conflicts with other people come from one simple mistake. We get confused about what is our responsibility and what is someone else's responsibility. This quote from the book is the perfect example. Worrying about how other people see you, that's you trying to do their task. What they think of you is their business. It's their task, not yours. Your only task is to choose the best path you believe in and walk it. So here's how you actually apply this in your life. Anytime you're facing a problem, just stop and ask yourself one simple question. Whose task is this? Who does the final decision and its consequences really belong to? If the answer is not me, then your job is to let it go. This frees you up from the massive burden of trying to control things you never could in the first place. Now, to really separate tasks, you have to make a pretty big mindset shift. You have to stop seeing life as this vertical competition, like a ladder where you're always trying to climb above other people. Instead, you need to see everyone on a horizontal plane. We're all just comrades walking alongside each other. When you see it that way, you stop worrying about what they're doing, and you can just focus on your own path. Your goal is no longer to be better than others, but just to be a little better than you were yesterday. And this is where it all leads. When you finally stop trying to live up to everyone else's expectations, when you stop trying to control their tasks and just focus on your own, you discover this profound sense of freedom. And according to Adler, it is in that exact freedom that you find what real happiness is. So what is happiness in Adler's world? It's not wealth, it's not fame, it's not even about being liked by everyone. It is simply the feeling that you are of use to someone, that you are making a contribution, big or small. That's it. That's the whole thing. And this brings us right to the title, to the core message of this entire philosophy. True freedom, the freedom to live your life authentically and contribute on your own terms, requires you to accept that some people just aren't going to like it. You cannot please everybody and still be truly free. So we'll end with this final thought. Just imagine, what would you do if you truly let go of the need for everyone's approval? If you weren't afraid of being judged or even disliked for your choices? What would you do? What kind of life would you build? It's a powerful question, and the answer might just be your first step on a whole new path.